Imagine a political landscape turned upside down. In a stunning turn of events, the Dutch political scene has been rocked as exit polls indicate a significant victory for the centrist liberals led by Rob Jetten. This comes just 2 years after his party was languishing in 5th place, a truly remarkable comeback story. But here's where it gets controversial. Could this signify a deeper shift in the Dutch electorate's preferences? Moving away from established figures and embracing a new generation of leadership? According to the Ipsos.io exit poll, Jetten's D66 Liberals are projected to secure a notable 27 seats. This puts them ahead of anti-Islam populist Geert Wilders, whose party previously held the top spot. While the final outcome remains uncertain, Wilders has already conceded victory, and Jetten has proclaimed that millions of Dutch people have turned a page. They've said goodbye to a politics of negativity. This bold statement hints at a desire for unity and progress, but will it resonate with all segments of Dutch society? Several other parties are also in close contention, including the conservative liberals, the left-wing Green Left Labour Party, and the Christian Democrats. The political landscape is clearly fragmented, suggesting the need for complex coalition negotiations. And this is the part most people miss. The success of any future government will hinge on the ability of these diverse parties to find common ground and address the pressing issues facing the Netherlands. Wilders, who dominated the polls throughout the campaign, saw his support wane after his own coalition collapsed in June due to disagreements over asylum and migration policies. Following this, mainstream leaders collectively signaled their unwillingness to collaborate with him, effectively isolating his party. This raises a crucial question. Does this represent a permanent shift away from populist rhetoric in Dutch politics? Or is it merely a temporary setback for Wilders and his supporters? Jetten's surge in popularity can be attributed to a highly effective campaign strategy. Just weeks before the election, polls suggested D66 would only secure around 12 seats. However, the 38-year-old leader capitalized on strong performances in televised debates and interviews. His participation in a popular TV quiz show, The Smartest Person, further boosted his public profile. The fact that he actively engaged with public through various platforms seemed to have paid off, making him more relatable to the average voter. But could this be interpreted as a sign that voters are increasingly influenced by personality and media presence rather than substantive policy differences? While Jetten remained cautious about claiming outright victory, acknowledging the margin of error in the exit poll, the conservative liberal VVD, led by Dylan Jesselgoes, is also projected to perform well, potentially securing a place in a future Jetten-led coalition. This suggests a possible center-right coalition, but the inclusion of other parties, such as the Green Left Wilders PVV Freedom Party, had secured 37 seats in November 2023. But this time, voters appeared discouraged by his past inability to form a stable coalition. His previous attempt to form a government in 2024 took 7 months and ultimately collapsed after just 11 months. This raises the question, are voters prioritizing stability and experience over ideological purity? Jetten emphasized his desire for a stable and ambitious, broad-based coalition, noting that it was unprecedented for the winning party to secure fewer than 30 seats in parliament. He identified Frans Timmermans' Labour PVDA Green Left Alliance, Jesselgoes' Conservative Liberals, and a revitalized Christian Democrat CDA as potential coalition partners. How will these parties navigate their policy differences to create a cohesive governing platform? The exit poll delivered disappointing news for Timmermans, whose left-wing party had consistently ranked second in the polls, but is now projected to finish 4th. Acknowledging his disappointment, Timmermans announced his resignation, taking responsibility for the outcome. This is a significant loss for the left-wing movement in the Netherlands. But the question remains, will this open the door for a new generation of left-wing leaders to emerge? Timmermans and Wilders, both in their early 60s, entered politics around the same time. There's a growing sense that Dutch voters are ready for a change. Wilders, however, has vowed to remain in politics until he turns 80. Despite his party's projected losses, he remains optimistic, stating that we have still had our second best result. Is this a sign of resilience or a refusal to acknowledge the changing political landscape? According to Mathis Rodwin of the University of Amsterdam, Wilders' party lost support to other parties from both moderate and more radical voters. However, he also noted that the losses could have been worse, considering Wilders' role in the previous government's collapse and his less active campaign. This raises a fascinating point. Did Wilders' past actions ultimately undermine his support? Or did other factors, such as the rise of Jetten, play a more significant role? Euphoria filled the air as D66 supporters gathered in Leiden, a university city between Amsterdam and The Hague, to await the results. A second exit poll confirmed the initial projection, and chants of "Yes, we can" echoed through the venue. Taking the stage, Jetten, potentially the youngest prime minister in modern Dutch history, declared, "We did it, the best result D66 has ever achieved." He also acknowledged his responsibility to represent all Dutch citizens, stating, "We will do all we can in the coming years to show all the Dutch people that politics and government can be there for them again, so they can think big again and act big again, so the Netherlands can move forward." What kind of policies will Jetten implement to address the concerns of those who did not vote for him? While the election was partly influenced by concerns about migration and overcrowded asylum centers, the biggest issue for voters was the severe housing shortage, with nearly 400,000 homes needed for a population of 18 million. Jetten's party has proposed building 10 new cities to address this crisis. Is this a realistic solution? And how will it impact the environment and existing communities? According to D66 supporter Aileen, it was a campaign of optimism. It shows the Dutch are tired of 2 years of standstill. We recognize big challenges and we want progress on those. It shows the Dutch are craving a prime minister who is able to unite the country and tackle the major challenges our country and the world are facing. This sentiment reflects a desire for strong, decisive leadership. But can Jetten deliver on these expectations? The Christian Democrats, once considered politically irrelevant, are projected to win 19 seats, making them a potential coalition partner for the Liberals. CDA leader Henry Bontenbal expressed his excitement, stating, "What a fantastic result! 2 years ago, we could not have dared to dream of this." What does this resurgence of the Christian Democrats signify for the future of Dutch politics? What are your thoughts on this surprising election outcome? Do you believe Jetten's victory represents a genuine shift in Dutch politics, or is it merely a temporary phenomenon? What challenges do you foresee for the new government, and what policies should they prioritize? Share your opinions in the comments below.